Yo, what is up, YouTube? RP Gang, RP Nation, RP Boxing, YBP MMA. Coming at y'all with the post-fight breakdown of Devin Haney's masterful performance. He just went out there and beat Norman. I wish I did more content on the fight leading up to it, but I don't, like, if it's a Devin Haney fight, you know I'm picking Devin Haney. Like, I got to do it as my profile pick, man. You know, he's the guy who really inspired me to get into boxing and MMA. Well, not MMA per se. I was already into MMA. But he's probably my favorite fighter, like, of all the fighters that I know. So, just an amazing fighter, amazing person. So just, really rooting for him in this fight. It was a pick 'em odds. I try not to bet on fights that I'm emotionally tied to, so I didn't want to place money on Haney. I don't think I've ever placed money on a Haney fight, just because I'm emotionally charged. Like, I feel like, even if I did, you never want to double, you bet on somebody just because, you're a fan of them, So, I stayed back. I wasn't even able to because they don't even have boxing where I'm at. But if you guys bet on Haney, man, you guys want a lot of money, man, because, man, I mean, that's like getting a Nurmagomedov as like a pick'em. Like, you just don't get, a two-weight champion, youngest undisputed champion at lightweight. You don't get him at those odds ever, So for him to go out there and do what he did, I mean, I'm not even surprised, What I am surprised about is that he did get the knockdown. Like, I didn't see that one coming. I mean, Norman's been hurt before, but, man, I mean, the speed. And I'm an optimist. Like, I thought it was going to be even a more cautious performance. And he really traded with Norman at times. He did a really good job. He wasn't running around like in the Jose Ramirez fight. So just showed all levels. He fought in the mid-range. He fought up close. There was a lot of grappling and like wrestling in the middle, but that wasn't all of Haney. Like, that was initiated. Some of that was from Norman too. So it was 50-50. I think Norman was getting hurt to the body a little bit, so he wanted to grab a little bit too. And I think that was also part of his game plan late. He was a little frustrated, so he wanted to grab and, tussle a little bit, get Haney a little bit uncomfortable. So that wasn't now Haney did initiate some clinches. That's true. But not more than he usually does. Like, this wasn't like it wasn't like the Jose Ramirez fight where he was like running a lot and then clinching. He ate some left hooks too. Like, in the first round, and then we saw, in the third and the fourth, but not the third and the fourth. It was like later in the fight, like 8th, 9th, I think. But not as much as we're usually accustomed to. Or I don't want to say usually accustomed to, but not as much as we saw in the Ryan fight for sure. He was very defensively sound, I thought. Got out of the way of punches. The jab was there, 1-2 down the middle. He had his mojo. He looked comfortable in there. He basically controlled the range of the fight, wherever the fight went. He was winning in all aspects. He did slow down towards, the latter half, but he finished strong. I thought he finished, 12 rounds strong. 11th round, he looked amazing. Even in the round where Norman was landing good shots in round 8, he came back later in that round and stole it back. So just some really good things. Like, he was able to battle back from adversity a little bit in this fight. Obviously, he got the knockdown, but, Norman is not a slouch. He's a world champion. He's a great fighter. Maybe doesn't have the experience at the world championship level, but he's a champion nonetheless. He's a slick black fighter, young, undefeated. He had all the confidence in the world that he could go out there and get a similar left hook that he landed on Sasaki in Japan. He was going to, come and, come forward and, give Haney all that he had, and he wasn't able to, produce the result that he wanted. So at the end of the day, Norman's a very great fighter. I think he has a bright future ahead of him too. I think this one's going to age well. I think Norman is going to do great things in the sport, but, great performance by Haney. Everyone was still shitting on him. I still see people. I don't even want to feed into the hate too much because I had to turn off my TV. It's getting the hate for Devin Haney makes no sense to me. I don't even want to because it's supposed to be a happy day for me. I'm supposed to be celebrating. My favorite fighter just got to win. But I can't, I used to be the guy, in the comments, everybody shitting on Haney. It's hard. It's hard when, you do get knocked down 3 times by Ryan and then we don't know about the drugs and whatnot, or even the Loma fight. I had to get in the comments and, everybody shitting on him. But, it's like I can't. I think I'm doing a better job with not getting rage. We're in the day and age of rage bait, man. The rage bait gets so bad. I just heard Eddie Hearn after the fight with Conor Benn. Conor Benn, in the middle of the fight, he's laying his head down on Eddie Hearn as if Devin Haney didn't knock dude down in the second round. No one saw that coming. I mean, was that like the fight of the night? Was that Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes? No, but it was still a pretty entertaining fight. It was more entertaining than Bam and what's dude's name? Even though Bam got the knockout, bro, I wasn't even paying. Maybe I'm biased. I don't know, but I don't. To me, that was not a boring fight. I don't think it was. You know, Conor. I mean, Conor isn't like always in exciting fights himself. Like his fight with old dude in when he went to a decision. I'm forgetting. Like when he just got off the PEDs. Like this guy, you know, Conor's a drug cheat. Conor just got outboxed by Chris Eubank. I don't know why he's even talking. He hasn't done shit in boxing. He's never been a champion. To my knowledge. Just a UK hype job, bro. I don't know. And Eddie Hearn has the audacity to back him up. I thought so. Eddie Hearn starts his sentence. He started like, you know, I gotta give credit to him, you know, for getting the win. But man, he's just scared to engage. You know, like this is just stuff that we've seen. Like, are we watching the same fight? I don't even want to give it too much attention. I want to just focus on that main performance. I'm glad the lady like pushed back a little bit, but it's hard when you got, you know, Eddie Hearn and you got Conor Ben right there. You know, they're talking shit. She's just a reporter. She's not supposed to be, you know, defending the fighter. She don't want to come off as biased. But man, I don't know. I mean, that's okay. Here's the thing. I don't know. Like, what are they trying to accomplish with that? I don't understand. I feel like if you're gonna build a fight, I don't know what like Conor Ben ultimately said. Maybe he's saying that to, like, I understand if you're saying that to like shit on Haney as in to like downplay the fight. That's the only way I could see it. But I don't understand saying that and then wanting to fight him. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. To me, like in my eyes, I don't think Conor Ben's not skilled enough. Conor Ben would look at just as like Norman did in that fight. You know, he's more of a power puncher. He moves a lot. He kind of reminds me of like, he's an explosive guy, but he doesn't have the boxing skill. You know, he's another UK hype job. He has the UK behind him, but I think even Ryan would beat him, man. Ryan, I don't know. He's just not crazy. You know, he was only able to beat Eubank. That was a manufactured win. You know, two weight cuts. He was drained. You know, he couldn't really get his feet under him, man. He looked lethargic out there, you know. So, and Eubank's old. So, Eubank looked good in the last fight, but again, I don't want to take away too much away from that win, but a lot of that was just, you know, being explosive, being fast. I didn't see improvements from the last fight. All I saw was, the only difference I saw was that Eubank just couldn't eat those punches and box the way he did. I didn't see improvements to where it's like a guy with a jab. I mean, Eubank was outboxing him bad. The first fight was a boxer versus a puncher. Really, I didn't see much technical. It's a lot of lunging. It's a lot of, you know, overcommitting on shots. It's just not, you know, I don't know. Just because you're doing a lot of big actions doesn't mean it's exciting. Like, I don't know, especially when a lot of it is like not amounting to anything. Like, to me, I mean, I love watching a guy like Nick Ball fight. You know, Nick Ball is cool, you know. I think he's a very good fighter. He's exciting to watch, but I just don't understand how you could sit there and shit on him. I don't know. I think it's just a trend at this point. I don't even know. I actually don't. You know, it's like with Bilal, too. Like, Bilal could go out there and strike with Ian Gary for 3 rounds in their fight. I didn't even talk about that card. Probably won't. Because I feel like there's not much to talk about. I don't know. Last week was the card. I don't think Ian Gary did anything to warrant. I'm getting off track. Holy smokes. But anyways, Devin Haney is the GOAT. The best fighter in this generation. DHP era is lasting a lifetime. 100%. You know, I'm excited for the future, what that holds. I think if I was Devin Haney, I wouldn't even have taken this fight. I don't even, but I guess as we got closer to the fight, and this is how it always is, because when the fight announcement first came out, I was like, bro, this is the dude that just slept the Japanese dude. And then I started watching tape on Norman. You know, you start to realize, like, you know, because you're looking at a 12-round fight. You know, anybody can land a shot, you know, and catch somebody. But when you're looking at a 12-round fight, someone's skills, they go on full display. You get exposed a little bit. You know, we started to see the chinks in your armor, and we saw that with Norman, you know. His jab isn't really there. The jab defense is missing. He can't box with a guy like Haney. You know, a lot of looping shots, a lot of, you know, taking risks when he really didn't have to early in the fight too. Trusting the power a little bit too much. Not enough in between. Just stuff that I think a lot of people overlooked. So I don't know. I don't want to waste my energy too much on that. I feel like I ended my night good, you know. it's a great result. I'm not even thinking about. It's crazy. I don't. The Benavidez Yard fight. It's like I feel like that fight's almost predetermined. I mean, maybe Yard could go out there and do something, but I don't. Benavidez is gonna kill that dude. I don't. The main event should have been Haney Norman. That was the fight that everyone was like back and forth about what's gonna happen. Haney's the biggest fighter on the card, and Norman. I mean, it's a pick'em fight, most competitive. That fight should have been number one. So, and you're looking at Benavidez. That it's not like you're lining up Benavidez for a bigger fight down the line. I think the bigger fights are with Haney. Benavidez can't get his Canelo fight. Canelo's actually, the fact that Canelo was even fighting again, the fact that he has the audacity to fight Crawford again while Benavidez is still active, that's so nasty to me, bro. That's like it'd be one thing if he fought Crawford once and then, boom, just, retired, all that. But he's fighting again and he's not fighting Benavidez. We know why. I do think that there was a point in time where Canelo could have beaten Benavidez. Like when he fought Plant, I think that Canelo could beat Benavidez, especially the Benavidez has been. Because remember, his 175 debut wasn't too good. And then he looked amazing against Morrell, putting a pace on guys. But Benavidez isn't, I think Canelo will be able to eat those shots and then, still come forward and land his, at least against Plant. But this version of Canelo, these circus fights, I guess the guy like Crawford, like I don't, makes sense. Like Canelo can't knock out Berlanga. Can't knock out Ryder. Can't knock out Munguia. He's just like, carrying guys to the finish line. So a young, hungry guy like Benavidez, I don't know. It's not going to go good. But back to Haney, the guy I'd like to see him fight next. I really thought of that. I mean, probably the winner of Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios. You'd think that Ryan would win, but Ryan's so bad. I don't know what's going to happen. So, if Devin wants to fight Rolly, that could be a big fight. Devin Ryan obviously makes a lot of sense. Devin Connor Bennett seems like they're downplaying the fight and they want to just duck him. I don't know. I guess it wouldn't be a duck because he's not the champion. So, you could do Devin. I think we need the rematch. We need the Devin Ryan rematch. I'm so confident he wins that. I think that was just. I think it's the steroids, but the guy's not the same. There is a possibility that Ryan's just, Haney's kryptonite, and he's just the one guy. Haney's the better boxer, like he can beat more guys, but when they fight each other, Ryan gets the best of them. It's possible. Because you can't tell me that Ryan would beat someone like Ryan Norman. Like, this wouldn't happen, Ryan's not beating a Lomachenko. Ryan's not beating a Regis Prograis even. Like, just not doing it, He might not even beat a Jorge Linares, honestly. Some of these guys. So, I don't know. Could just be his rival. Could just be his arch nemesis. That's the big thing about fighting these guys in your prime. Like, it happens. You might drop one. You win one here. That's what happens when you're fighting the best of the best, And then you add on that he was heavy. Haney was sucked out, too, at 140. If that rematch happens, he'd be at 147. It's really, it seems like he can eat the punches better. And then, Ryan, he'd be off the Austrian, presumably. So, I think it's a great fight, for sure, in the rematch. And I got Devin, for sure. I had him the first time, and I have him 100% the second time. Like, it's not going to, there's no advantages there for Ryan. So, yeah. I think boxing's in a weird place. I feel like we're not getting the fights that we, like, kind of want, because we are getting Teo Shakur, but that's not, no one, I'm okay with Teo Shakur, but, man, I wanted to see Mr. Tank. We wanted to see Tank Shakur. We wanted to see Tank Devin. We wanted to see Shakur Devin. These fights that kind of got away. We wanted to see Teo Devin. These are fights, obviously, Teo lost to Kambosos and shit happened there. So, Teo Shakur, that's not bad. And obviously, we're going to get Devin Ryan, hopefully. But, yeah, I think the sport of boxing should get behind Devin. He's one of the biggest stars in the sport. He is arguably the biggest American star in the sport, so he's going to be the future of this stuff. So I think as a community, we got to get behind him, man. All this shitting on him and hating on him and doing all this type of stuff, like, he's the real deal. He showed that he can go out, he can brawl, He can box too. He can jab. He can wrestle a little bit too on the inside. Like, he can do everything. So I'm so proud of the, DHP, the game plan they put together, the defense. They really worked on a lot of things, and I think deserves a lot of credit. They talked the shit, and they backed it up at the end of the day. So, shout out to Norman. I think Norman, it was a great promotion. People got interested for it, more interested in the main event. I didn't hear anyone talking about Benavidez' yard, talking about, any scuffles there or any beef or being excited about that fight. The reason people are watching is because of Haney and Norman, equally on the Norman side. Norman's dad promoted the fight well. He had the scuffle early on. You had Norman saying what he said, two confident young black fighters coming out and doing their business, So that's what we like to see. Man. Yeah, I got so much to say. I don't want to extend this video too long, but yeah, I mean, Devin, the dude, he continues to surprise people. I mean, I'm surprised. Even me, I was like, because that's not the way I would have thought Devin would have won. Every time he fights, even when he fought Regis, this reminds me of the Regis fight so much, because when the Regis fight got announced, I was scared a little bit. And then the press conference came and they were talking shit and we were talking shit. I was a little concerned. I was so concerned that I was looking at every Regis interview just to see his mindset, like what's going on, trying to read in on how he's feeling. I was concerned. I was like, And this was before the Ryan fight. This is before any of that shenanigans that happened. So you can imagine, like, gutsy play call, man. But they did their research. They did their research, man. They did their research. They did the tape study. Not to say that, like, Norman is not a great fighter, but they knew that they had something on their hands to where Haney could win this fight. It was winnable, Because I think that the combination of he had just knocked out Jin Sasaki with that nasty left hook left him cold. I think he lost his memory. And then Haney goes out there and, gets hit with the left hook, gets knocked down 3 times. That combination, the lasting memory. So, but again, the in-between, it's a 12-round fight. It's not a 2-round fight. Can't project that. So, man, I don't know. I got to go to bed. I got to hear everyone's opinion. I don't even want to hear anybody's opinion, though. I feel like I got my opinion out. Usually I'm more adamant to hear what people... I'm going to listen to people that support Haney. Because I already, Tim Bradley... Oh, my God. I don't even... It's bad. It's actually bad. The amount of people that were shitting on Haney, that were picking Norman, man, they got to, come out and apologize, bro. It's so bad. It's so bad, bro. It's actually nasty work. But, yeah, I mean, shout out to Norman, like I said. Great opponent. Shout out to the Haney family, DHP. They just keep surprising people and coming forward and proving why they're great. It's going to be a lot of people that are going to, shit on Haney and, pick, even Ryan in the rematch. People are like, oh, still, this is going to happen. I don't know why. Why? But DHP just got proven wrong again, again and again and again. Stack the wins up. I think Devin Haney can honestly be the greatest fighter of all time. He got that type of potential. So, I'm just excited for the future of boxing, the matchups that we can create. Everybody fighting everybody. This felt like a good competitive fight. Great card. Shout out to Abdullah. Sam Noakes, a great card. He saw a young fighter get tested by a, tried and true champ. He saw Bam do what he did against the Martinez kid, the Argentinian. And then we about to see Benavidez' yard. But I got to go to bed, man. I'm tired. Leave a like and a review, subscribe. Peace out, Moscar. You know what it is.